Good morning, students. So let us very quickly start with the next lecture. We'll solve some more numericals, this time of a different kind. Okay, so we'll start with question number 1, heights and distance for today's lecture. Let us first understand the question by reading it properly, because this first question will be very different and slightly complex to understand also. Okay, so let us first read the question. Before reading, we will just get this information that this small part of the diagram that I have drawn is not a part of the question. We will have to read the question and then draw the diagram. Okay, so I'll help you in understanding how to draw the diagram. Let us first read the question. It says the angle of elevation of a stationary cloud. Stationary means not moving. So we are assuming that there is a cloud. Obviously the cloud is in the sky. Okay. The angle of elevation of the cloud. So that means there is a person or there is someone who is looking upwards towards the sky at the cloud. Okay. From a point 25 meters above a lake. Okay. So where is that person standing? Or where is that the vision going to be from? The person is going to stand at a point which is 25 meters above a lake. So let us first draw a lake. So this is the surface of a lake. Okay, I have drawn the dotted lines suggesting that this entire thing is the lake. Okay, and what is the surface of the lake? This dark line, horizontal line, is going to be treated as the surface of the lake. Okay, so is the person going to stand over here on the surface of the lake and look up? No, because the question says that the angle of elevation of the stationary cloud from a point 25 meter above a lake. Okay, so if this is the surface of the lake, I am going to mark this point over here as the point where the person is standing. So obviously this part is going to be 25 meters. Okay, this entire part from the surface of the lake to this point is 25 meters, obviously. So what is the angle of elevation? Angle of elevation is 30 degrees. Where is he looking at? The person standing over here, or maybe obviously he cannot stand in the air like this. There must be, maybe he is sitting in an aeroplane or something like that. Okay, so he is looking upwards towards the cloud. So you see the cloud obviously is going to be in the sky. I have drawn the cloud roughly over here. Okay, so the line of sight is going to be this. Okay, so let me quickly draw the line of sight. Okay, so from here the person is looking in this particular direction towards the cloud, and from the horizontal always, the number of degrees that you look up, that angle is your angle of elevation, and that angle here is 30 degrees. Okay, now this is the first information present in the first line. And what else? And the angle of depression of its reflection in the lake is 60 degrees. Whose reflection? Cloud's reflection. Okay, so please note that the reflection, whenever the word reflection of the cloud comes, then you will keep that physics rule in mind, that the image of any object is formed as far behind the mirror as the object is in front of the mirror. So where is the mirror in this case? The mirror obviously is going to be the surface of the lake. Okay, so if the object or the cloud is here, the image is going to form somewhere downwards, below. Okay, so once again let us first see the distance of this object, which is the cloud, from the surface of the lake. So if this is going to be the surface of the lake as I have drawn, you see if this is 25, this becomes 25. Okay, so this much is 25. Okay, now if I assume this part to be x, okay, if I assume this part to be x, that means the cloud is at a total distance of 25 plus x above the mirror. Okay, I am obviously calling the surface of the lake as the mirror in this case. Okay, so 25 plus x is the distance in front of the mirror. So the image of the cloud will form 25 plus x below the mirror, which is the surface of the lake. Okay, so I'm just going to draw this. Okay, so now when you see, once again let me explain it. This is the surface of the lake. This is acting as the mirror. Where is the object? This cloud is the object. What is the distance of this object from the mirror? It is 25 plus x. So obviously the image will form at 25 plus x below the mirror. This is the main point that you have to understand in such type of questions. If you don't understand this properly, you are not going to get the diagram right, and once you get the diagram wrong, the entire solution will be wrong. Please remember that if this is acting as the surface of the lake is acting as the mirror, so if the cloud is at 25 plus x above the mirror, then you will have the image of the cloud or the reflection of the cloud at 25 plus x below the mirror or the surface of the lake. Okay, so now having drawn this diagram, let us read the second line again. The angle of depression of its reflection. So here is the reflection of the cloud. How is the angle of depression going to be formed? Because the person is going to look down into the lake at the reflection. Obviously, when you look into any water body, you are going to get you are going to see a reflection of something which is above the water body. Okay, so now if I draw the angle of depression, you see from here the person is going to look down here. Okay, so now if you see, I have drawn the line of sight. In this case it is going downwards, so obviously the angle that is going to be formed here is going to be angle of depression, and that angle is 60 degrees. Okay, this is the complete diagram that you have to draw on your own after reading the question. Okay, so now having drawn the diagram, let us quickly see what is being asked. It is asking you find the height of the cloud above the lake. Okay, that means this is the lake level, distance of the cloud which is here from the surface of the lake or above the lake. So they are asking you this 25 plus x, this entire distance. Okay, so that means obviously you have to find x. Let us start forming the equations. So the first equation that you can obviously have is tan 30 degree. So I am obviously taking this particular triangle, right angle triangle. See, these are all right angle triangles. Okay, so tan 30 degree is going to be perpendicular, which is x upon base, this base over here. So this base, obviously we don't know that base, so I'm going to treat this part to be y. Okay, this entire part from here to here, which is the base in this triangle, because you see tan 30 degree is perpendicular upon base. Okay, so x upon y. What is tan 30 degree? Tan 30 degree is 1 upon root 3 is equal to x upon y. Okay, so you can treat this to be equation number 1. Okay, similarly, now if we take tan 60 degree, that means I am taking this bigger triangle. You see, this bigger triangle. Okay, so tan 60 degree is going to be perpendicular upon base. Please note, this is going to be the perpendicular now. So perpendicular means 25 plus 25 plus x. Please note, upon what is the base? Y. Because you see, this time the angle is this. Okay, so tan of this angle is going to be perpendicular upon base. What is perpendicular for this particular angle? This entire thing is perpendicular and this thing is the base. So you see, 25 plus 25 plus x is the perpendicular and base remains y itself. Okay, so this becomes 25 plus 25 obviously is 50 plus x upon y. Okay, what is tan 60? Obviously tan 60 is root 3, so this becomes equal to 50 plus x upon y. Okay, so we will call this to be equation number 2. Now, do we need y No, we don't need y. We have to just find out the height of the cloud above the lake, which is this height. So 25 plus x. If we can take out x with the help of these two equations, then we can easily get our answer. So I'll simply, what I'll do is divide 2 by 1. So dividing this equation by this equation, let us see what we get. I am going to write down this second equation again. 50 plus x upon y. That is my second equation. You see, I have written dividing second by first. So this is the second equation that I have written, and this is the first equation that I am going to write. So 1 upon root 3 is equal to x upon y. Y and y gets cancelled. Okay. So, and obviously this root 3 goes above. So it becomes root 3 into root 3 equal to, because you see this root 3 was already there, and this root 3 has gone from the denominator of the denominator above. So on the right hand side you are left with 50 plus x upon x, because y has been cancelled. What is root 3 into root 3? Root 3 into root 3 is 3. Okay. So now when you cross multiply, this x comes here. So you get 3x is equal to 50 plus x. This x comes to this side. So 3x minus x becomes 2x. 2x is equal to 50. Therefore, x is equal to 25 meters. But this is the value of x only. What is the question asking? The question is asking the height of the cloud above the lake. This is the cloud, this is the lake level. So that means this entire 25 plus x will be the height of the cloud. So you will write your answer over here. Height of the cloud will be 25 plus x. So that becomes 25 plus the value of x also has come out to be 25. So that becomes 50 meters. That is your final answer. Okay. So 50 meters is the height of the cloud. I hope you have understood this question. We'll give this question once again and as a part of the assignment also, just so that you can practice. But please go through this description carefully. Now very quickly let us move on to the second question. Okay, so here is the second question. From the top of a cliff 60 meters high, the angles of depression of two boats on either sides are 30 degree and 60 degree respectively. Find the distance between the boats. Okay, so the diagram has not been given in the question. We will have to draw the diagram by reading and understanding the question. So it says from the top of a cliff. So I have drawn the cliff, vertical cliff, 60 meters high. Okay. The angles of depression. So obviously the person is standing on the top of the cliff and he is going to look down. Only then is the depression of angle of depression formed. Okay. So where is he looking at? He is looking at two things. See, he is looking at two boats, and the boats are on either sides of the cliff. So that means one boat is on to the left side, the other boat is to the right side, and he is looking once at this boat, then at this boat. So let us complete the diagram. Okay, so now if you look at the completed diagram, this is the person standing on the cliff. He is looking at boat B1, looking down. Okay, so where is the angle of depression? This is obviously not the angle of depression. Whenever a person is looking downwards, then that angle of depression is formed with respect to the horizontal line of sight. So let me quickly draw the horizontal line of sight. Okay, so the horizontal line of sight is going to be drawn like this. Okay, so if this is the horizontal line, he is looking downwards. You see, he is looking downwards. The person standing over here, he is looking downwards with respect to the horizontal. So this is the angle of depression for this boat. So by using simple geometry, once again these two angles are alternate interior angles because these are parallel lines. This is the transversal. That rule still applies. So this angle also becomes 60 degrees. Similarly, when he is looking down at the second boat, see, this is the angle of depression. Again, these are alternate interior angles. So this angle also becomes 60 degree. Okay. So these are the two triangles that you have to take. Okay. And what is to be found out? Find the distance between the boats. So this entire distance, horizontal distance on the ground, is to be found out. Okay. So I can treat this part to be x, I can treat this part to be y, and once we find x and y, we will add it up. Okay. So let us quickly write down tan. So let us first use this triangle. So tan of 30 degree will be equal to what? Tan of 30 perpendicular upon base. So that becomes 60 upon x. What is tan 30? Tan 30 is 1 upon root 3. So that becomes 60 upon x. Okay, that means when you cross multiply, x becomes 60 root 3 and root 3 value is 1.732. So this value, once you multiply, it will come out to be 6 into 17.32. This comes out to be 6 2s are 12, 6 3s are 18, 19, 1, 6 7 are 42, 43, 4, 6 1 is 6 and 4 10. 103.92 meters is what is x. Similarly, now we will find out y. So you see, tan, obviously now I'll take this triangle. Tan of 60 degree is going to be perpendicular upon base. So perpendicular obviously is 60 again, but the base is y. So 60 upon y. What is tan 60? Tan 60 is root 3. So this becomes 60 upon y. Y goes this side, root 3 comes down. So you will have y is equal to 60 upon root 3. Now what some students will make a mistake over here is, they will put the value of root 3 here and start dividing. Now root 3 value comes in decimals. Dividing by a decimal number becomes tedious. So what you will do is you will rationalize this. Multiply both numerator and denominator by root 3. So that will give you 60 root 3 upon root 3 into root 3 gives you 3. And this 3 and this 60 get cancelled. So you get a 20. That means you are going to get the value of y as 20 root 3. So that means 20 into 1.732 is going to give you. Now you see, by rationalization I have actually simplified the calculation because multiplying by a decimal number is easier than division. So this becomes 2 multiplied by 17.32. So that becomes 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 2 7s are 14, carry 1, 2 1s are 2 and 3. So the value of y is 34.64. Now you see, this was the value of x and this here is the value of y. And the question is asking you the distance between the boards. So x plus y is the distance between the boards. So answer over here you can write distance between the boards will be equal to x plus y. So 103.92 plus 34.64 is going to give you how much? 138.56 meters. You can obviously put down the decimal, these two numbers one below the other, and then you add up. The answer will come out to be 138.56 meters. Okay, so this was another question, type of a question in which there are two angles of depression formed on either sides of the cliff. Okay, so we'll quickly move now on to the third question. These three questions are a part of this lecture. After that you will get one more assignment. You have already got one assignment. So please ensure that you complete these two assignments by the end of this particular week, because next week we are going to start with the last chapter as far as the half yearly is concerned, the remainder and the factor theorem. Now let us quickly move to question number 3. Okay, so here is the third question. From the top of a hill, the angles of depression. So the word depression says immediately, it tells you that the person is standing at the top of the hill and he is looking downwards. Okay, so where is the hill? This is the vertical standing hill that I have drawn. The person is going to stand here and look down. Okay, so what is he looking at? The angles of depression of two consecutive kilometer stones. Okay, so obviously he is looking down on the road. So this is the road, and on the highways or on the roads you see kilometer stones that are there stuck on the ground to either sides. So you see consecutive means coming one after the other. Okay, consecutive kilometer stones. Okay, so there are two stones that are there. Okay, and the person is looking from here down at the stones. Okay, so since these are two stones, I have labeled S1 and S2, and they are consecutive kilometer stones. So that means they are coming one after the other. So their distance, the distance between them is going to be 1 kilometer. Okay, so the distance between the stones is 1 kilometer, and from the foot of the hill, which is this, I can assume this particular distance to be x. Okay, so let me quickly complete the diagram by showing you the line of sight. So you see these are the two lines of sights that I have drawn. For this person who is looking down at stone S1, this is the line of sight, and for the same person to be looking down at this stone, this is the line of sight. So the angles of depression obviously are going to again form with respect to the horizontal line of sight. So this particular angle, this angle of depression is going to be 30 degree, and this angle of depression is going to be 45 degree, obviously, because this is the greater angle. Okay, this is one more mistake that students make. They quickly mark these two angles without realizing which angle is greater. By looking at it, you can see that this angle is going to be greater than this angle. Okay, so once you have marked the angles of depression, use that alternate interior angle rule to mark these two angles. So since this angle was 30, this angle will also become 30 degrees, and since this entire thing was 45, this entire thing will also become 45, because they are alternate interior angles lying between the parallel lines and the transversal. So having marked these particular angles, now let us see what are they asking. Find the distance of the farthest stone from the foot of the hill. From the foot of the hill. Where is the foot of the hill? This is the foot of the hill. Okay, so I am going to mark foot of the hill over here. Okay, which is the stone which is farther away? So this is the stone that is farther away. So they are asking you this entire distance, which can be found out if you simply find out x. Okay, so let us quickly come up with the equations. We have, first, if I take this particular triangle, I will have tan 45 degree is equal to perpendicular upon base, so that is going to be h upon x. Tan 45 is 1, so this becomes h upon x equal to 1, which will give me h is equal to x. Okay, so that means this height and this x, they are same. Obviously, which one do we have to find? We don't have to find h, we have to find x. But if you find x, h is also same according to the question details. Okay, so that is you can call this to be equation number 1, whatever. Then I will take tan of 30 degrees. So obviously that means I am taking this big triangle now. Okay, so tan 30 is going to be perpendicular upon this full base. So this is going to be x upon this full thing is x plus 1. Okay, that means, now you see, if I am adding x with 1, if you see in the diagram, it was in kilometer. That means I am taking x also in kilometer, I am taking h also in kilometers. Okay, so since we are using h with x, all the units have to be same. So if this 1 is in kilometer, that means we will assume that x value and h value will also come out to be in kilometers. Okay, if you want, you can later on convert that into meters. Okay, what is tan 30 degree? Tan 30 degree is 1 upon root 3 is equal to h. Now in place of h, I will simply put x. So this becomes x upon x plus 1. Okay, where has h gone? I have replaced h with the help of this earlier equation in terms of x, because remember we have to find out this horizontal distance on the ground. So for that x is necessary. Okay, this is the equation that we arrive at. Now cross multiply, so you will have x plus 1 coming this side, root 3 going this side and multiplying this, so you get root 3x. X goes to the right side, so you are left with 1 is equal to root 3x minus x. X and x, they are common, so I can take out common x here. Root 3 minus 1 is equal to 1. Please note, we have to find out the value of x, so x becomes 1 upon root 3 minus 1. This entire bracket goes down to the other side and divides. Now again, that same note that you have to make, root 3 value if you put over here, it is going to be 1.732 minus 1, which is going to give you a decimal number in the denominator. Dividing by a decimal number is always difficult, so we are going to rationalize this. So you see, x value has come out to be 1 upon root 3 minus 1. So if you remember, in 9th standard we had taught you how to rationalize the denominator. So you multiply both numerator and denominator, but with a change in sign in the middle. So you see, the numerator will obviously become simply root 3 plus 1, whereas the denominator, if you see, this is a minus b into a plus b, so that becomes a square minus b square. Root 3 square is 3 and 1 square is 1. So this becomes root 3 plus 1 upon 3 minus 1 is 2. So now you can put up the value of root 3 as 1.732. Okay, so now you see, I have put the value of root 3 as 1.732 plus 1 divided by 2. 1.732 plus 1 will give you 2.732 divided by 2, 1.366 kilometers. Remember, this is the value of only x. They are asking you find the distance of the farthest stone from the foot of the hill. This was the foot of the hill, this stone was the one which was farther away, sabse dur. Okay, so this stone and this foot of the hill, this entire distance is x plus 1. We have got x as 1.366, therefore your answer will become 1 plus 1.366, so that becomes 2.366 kilometers, or you can simply write down this as 2.37 kilometers approximately. Okay, so this all these three questions that we have done today, please go through the details of the lecture. Try and understand how we draw the diagrams by reading the question, what are the different trigonometric ratios to be applied, the equations to be formed, and what is the right way of solving such questions which involve under root signs. Okay, just to make things easier for you. Okay, so we did one question based on the cloud, one question we did in which the boats were on either sides of the cliff, and one question we have done on consecutive kilometer stone aspect. Okay, so based on these questions and the two assignments, I think you should be able to solve most of the questions that are given in the book. Do not worry about non-standard angles, because non-standard angles are not asked in the board examination. They will always give you the standard angles, and even if they give you non-standard angles, they will give you the value of the trigonometric ratios. Okay, but still a brief idea of how to look up the trigonometric table given at the end of the book will be given to you in the next lecture. Okay, so as far as heights and distance is concerned, these are the different types of questions that you have to attempt and be ready. Thank you.